Crystals seem to be growing rather nicely. Oh! Welcome! Welcome, welcome, weary traveler. Welcome to my humble roadside stand, where we have a variety of goods for sale for any wayfaring adventurer such as yourself. Perhaps you need to procure some supplies for the latest and greatest trek out into the great unknown. Or perhaps you just like the directions to the nearest tavern so that you can quench your thirst with a nice, cool glass of ale. Or perhaps there was something a little extra I could provide you. Perhaps something a little illicit. Oh, well, I happen to be a purveyor of information. After all, information is the greatest commodity one could hope for. So, what would you like? Would you like me to regale on the exploits of all the great heroes of yore and their triumphs over the evils of the world? Or perhaps you'd like to hear the latest and greatest gossip that I heard in the brothel last night. The choice is yours, my friend. Go ahead and say it. Name a topic. I will talk about it with you, for a fair price. Ooh, keep your voice down, Don't let the guards hear you utter that name. There's a city ordinance out here. We could both be sent to the dungeons tonight. But as long as you keep your voice down, I will tell you what I know. The individual that you speak is indeed a legend of yore, but not for the reasons that you might be thinking. They are guilty of a number of different crimes against humanity throughout the ethos of time. In fact, there are thousands upon thousands of scribes that have painstakingly written of everything that they've accomplished in life, which, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really amount to much, but however, it is truly astounding that somebody that is so ignorantly oblivious to their own actions in the face of the world would still continue to exist. I can continue, if you like, but it might not end well for you. As far as their current whereabouts, they seem to be locked in a dungeon themselves, up in the face of Asgard. And for what crime? Well, it is a crime too unspeakable to even utter here in the open. You'd have to visit me tonight. In fact, if you come to my stall in the dead of night, I could venture forth from my home. We can talk about this matter further. You see, in spite of the fact that they are locked in the dungeon, they've had contact with the outside world. Through pen and ink, they etch long-handed messages on parchment and hope to send it out into the world. Whether the recipient accepts the letter, well, it all depends on the recipient. There was a man by the name of Null who was the last point of contact before that charge soon went on to the one known as Engelbert. And then, or Kengel, as some people know him. And then there were those that noticed the attention that those two had received, and figured that they spied an opportunity to extract what information and what kecks they could from this Christian. Anyway, it's too risky to talk about it here. I will see you in just a bit. Adieu. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Juju Panda back in action to talk about something else today. About something else? It is time for fucking mail call. Yeah, I got a letter here. Who is it from? Well, you'd never fucking guess. Because, Christian is going to seemingly continue to dispense letters to those that write him in jail. Why are these people writing Christian in jail? Well, I already talked about it last video. I don't want to repeat myself, but for those of you that just got here, just found themselves in this fine channel, I would just like to say that there are a number of individuals out there that seem to want a piece of Christian for whatever reason or purpose. But, yeah, it's another one of those situations where, see, like, I think the only letter that Christian just, like, actually sent out from jail without any input from an outside source was the letter that they sent to Null. And Null obviously wasn't having it because he didn't really like the fact that, like, you know, Christian was contacting him. Ever since Null got kind of burned by Christian, he just basically cut the cord and was not having it. He uploaded imagery of the letter, so that's how we learned about it, you know, back in September. But things are a little bit different now, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying the condition really hasn't changed, all right? I'm not even sure if I should keep making these videos, because at this point, what I'm noticing is that there's like a common theme here, all right? Christianity keeps espousing ideals about the dimensional merge and keep basically making grandiose assertions that they are, in fact, Jesus Christ reincarnated, and that all of this is somehow just magically going to go away, and everybody around them that quote-unquote betrayed them are Judases. But yeah, obviously, you all know that is complete bunk. And I have to say, I gotta hand it to Christian. I am impressed that they have money while in prison, that they could go and buy a prayer rug as well as a deck of cards, and that they've been keeping themselves busy in prison, seemingly. I mean, I would imagine they are bored out of their fucking mind right now. They don't have their Switch, they don't have their Nintendo, consoles, they don't have anything. They don't have their fucking Legos, or even their My Little Pony action figures. So, I'm sure that they're pretty much bored out of their minds. I mean, honestly, if I was the prison guard, I would give them a set of Legos, but there's reasons not to do that. Legos are pretty fucking sharp, and I'm pretty sure you can make a shiv or some sort of improvised weaponry if you have enough of them, and some basic supplies hanging around. But anyway, yeah, Christian has kept themselves busy, as it were, and one of the ways they've been keeping themselves busy is by writing letters to people. And there's only 4 in existence I'm aware of, this being the 4th, alright? There were 2 that I knew fairly prominently, but again, the formula hasn't really changed in all this stuff. Christian just basically goes off the rails, just ranting and raving about how the dimensional merge is absolutely going to happen one of these days, and that they will ascend to being the astral goddess that they know themselves to be, and that we should just accept that, that we failed in our destiny to adhere to the tenets set forth by Gaetano Christian, and that they are the true Lord and Savior. Yeah. With that unpleasant thought out of our mind, let's just get into the letter, alright? So, obviously, I'm not reading from here. I'm reading from a transparent screen that only I can see. But yeah, I'm just being transparent with that. Anyway, let me try to voice this in a proper voice. I'm going to voice this in a voice that I think is realistic to the individual that sent the letter. Again, I haven't read this because I want you all to share in the same experiences that I have in the initial intrigue, curiosity, and cringe. A is just such a nice guy. I am sharing such a heartfelt, unique experience with you all. So if I have to suffer through it, so do you. Anyway, let's just jump into it. To Christine Weston Chandler, I'm just going to be frank. I have been hearing rumors that you are in possession of a plush toy that is in the likeness of Llewyn Loud. I did some searching and saw in the video where you were asking for people to donate to your Everfree Northwest GoFundMe that said plush was visible in the background on your bed.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
In case you don't know what I'm talking about, here's a picture of Luan. I first heard these rumors after your arrest back in August, though the doll being in your possession was only part of the discourse. The other part was rumors that you did sexual things to the doll. I remember one person saying that you cut a hole in it. I'm just waiting to ask if you actually did do anything sexual to the doll. I'm not accusing you of anything, I just wanted to dispel any rumors. To show you my good intentions, I'm giving you an Arabic blessing. You can tear off that part of the letter and hang it on your cell wall. It's a simple phrase that wishes one good luck and that will turn out well in your hour of tribulation. Just crease it first. Best regards, Sheikh Zula.
My name is Sheikh Zula, the Mike Rula, the old schooler. You want a trick? I'll bring it to you.
P.S. My real name will not be on the envelope per Virginia Correction System rules, but I request that you do not refer to me by said name, just as Sheikh Zula. Yeah. I'm sure that letter that we just read right now was written with the best of intentions and the absolute greatest of sincerity. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw the word doll, my initial reaction to that was that it was referring to one of Christian's sex dolls, which, if either of those sex dolls are still in existence somewhere and in like decent condition, I for one would be impressed. But no. As you can see, it's like a cartoon character. But yeah. Let's move right along here, shall we? Sorry for that little jump cut. Apparently, because I had to zoom in, the text was really that small. Something happened, like, with my virtual screen. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and jump into Christian's response to that letter. It was dated October 21st, 2021, so you know it's a more recent one. And I have to say, the paper used for this particular, like, letter is not that good. It looks like it was, like, you know, ripped apart. I'm trying to wonder, like, if this is a situation of Christian trying to make the most out of what limited supplies they have. Because I'm assuming that they either, like, blew through all their cash at the commissary, or they're just not getting enough paper to write full-length letters like they used to. Because these letters are getting shorter and shorter. But anyway, let's see if I can pull this off in Christian's voice. Hey, Sheikh Zula. To answer your question, you may share it online if you wish. The Luan Loud plush, as well as all of my plushes throughout my present mortal life, have never been cut open at all, nor have any of them been violated, defaced, or abused sexually at all. There was no discourse. The Luna Loud plush was literally a gift from another one of my kind followers, because they saw a similarity in the humor aspect between I and her. I have my morals, especially being the full reincarnation of Jesus Christ of Nazareth and God of all, including you. Regardless, I appreciate your blessing and prayer in Arabic. I have an open mind for all religious and spiritualities, as I am multifaceted. Thank you kindly. I offer you a direct blessing in return. Sheikh Zula. Visually, I draw it in my neo-spirituality, updated, Christianity symbol, but its main manifestation is in the form of a small share of my own aura and vibrations. Go forth with peace and clarity by the power and glory as God. Miss Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu. Well, so much for mail call. That's all that came in the letter today, in the mail. So let's go ahead and get a change of scenery. We'll reflect on it for a few minutes, and then I'll be the better for it. So take your letter. See you in a bit. So yeah, I'm sure you're all glad that you stuck around to hear all that, right? Truly a groundbreaking revelation that is going to resonate through the ethos of time. Nah, not really. I mean, at the same time, it is what you would expect from Christian, right? But it's getting a little bit samey and boring at this point. Like, we're already 4 letters in, and, like, the references to the dimensional merge, as well as, like, you know, Christian basically referring to himself as Jesus Christ reincarnated, and just kind of making the assumption that they had somehow been reincarnated into what Christian is today. And it's just like, God damn. Well, you know, it's like they always said, we were made in God's image. God must have been drunk by the time that he got to Christian. I tell you what, I don't know. Like, and see, there was a time, it pains me, because Christian, they had a shot at a normal life. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. But like, if their parents had just been a little bit more involved in their life, and, you know, maybe Christian would have had the upbringing that would have put them on a better trajectory through life than what they got. But given everything that's happened, well, hindsight's 2020, right? We all know that Christian didn't really have a shot, and it's sad that this was sort of doomed to happen, because there's plenty of people that started up that meme, the Chad Chan, like taking older pictures of Christian when he looked somewhat normal and photoshopping it to make it look like they're basically a stereotypical college jock. Yeah, that would have been the good ending. Unfortunately, I think that's in a parallel universe. We didn't get that in our universe. We got something like that. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about all this. It's like, if this is just going to be the common theme from now on, is it really worth making these videos? I do it out of a sense of obligation because it's like, you know, I started with letters 1, 2, and 3. And there was like some contrast to that, you know, like 3 and 4. This is more of an external sort of injection of somebody like reaching out from the outside in and trying to like manipulate Christian like any way they can. Namely with this conversion of Christian to Islam because they actually think that they can pull it off. I got news for you, buddy. Christian has their own religion. They have no need for Christianity or Islam. They have no need for Judaism or Buddhism. They have no need for Shintoism. They don't have any need for any of the other religions. They'll just see things in the religion that they like, and they will take and borrow those themes for their own cockamamie religion. And it will all be rationalized by them, and you know, their challenges for you to prove it. They'll just be like, there, I just did it. I just transferred my body into the body of Magichan, and Magichan and I are going to live forever in the astral gods and the planes, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like the most diluted sense of escapism that I've ever seen. And if that's just what's going to happen down the pipeline, I don't know what to expect. You know, I wasn't sure what I was expecting. Like, letter 1, that was kind of a surprise. Sacrilegious, but surprising. Letter 2, a little bit different, not by much. Christian was still spouting off bullshit about the dimensional merge and the fact that they were Jesus fucking Christ reincarnated. But like letters 3 and 4, short and not very interesting. So, is this how the Christian saga ends? Not with a bang, not with a boom, but with a whimper? Oh man, I am resisting so hard to make an offhand joke. I'll just say Aloha Snack Bar. Let's like, because I remember somebody in my comments was like saying, you know what would be crazy is if Christian converted to Islam and it somehow fixed their problems. And my response to that was just kind of like, I don't know, Christian has had a long time history of misunderstanding even basic concepts or taking certain like fragments of those concepts way too far. You know, they have a misunderstanding of a lot of things because they're kind of a screw up. And then it's just like, well, you know, the person I was talking to, Kelly, he was just like, well, you know what, maybe Mormonism would be a better option. And I'm just like, that's dangerous thinking there, man. Like, I could not imagine. Now, I'm pretty sure that Mormonism, if Christian like found out some of like the core tenets of it, the polyamorous relationship, like being able to take on multiple wives, that would definitely resonate with Christian, but they would never be able to fulfill that because they're never going to be able to get a girlfriend in the first damn place, let alone several. So at least there's that, but goddamn, man. So yeah. You'll all be delighted to know that the TLDR to all of this is that people from the outside are still writing letters to Christian while they're in prison because now they know who to write letters to. And I'm actually curious, like, do you suppose that the prison is receiving so many letters from these legions of tweens that they're just basically like throwing out half of them and only a few get to Christian and even less get picked for like a response video? Or I should say a response letter. Because Christian ain't making any videos in prison. The only people making videos are the, like, you know, the Christorians and people like me. So yeah, it just boggles the mind sometimes. Like, you know, there's so many ways this can go, and you already saw like the depths of what weaponized bautism can do, or autism, I should say. Like, some people were actually going so far as to ask, like, dude, we need a guy on the inside. Quick, if any of you are a prison guard, seek a transfer to the Orange County prison that Christian's located at so you can keep an eye on from the inside. And, like, or, you know, I was surprised, you know, actually, we're getting pretty close to November. That almost escaped my mind, that Christian's court date back in September had been pushed to November. And I can only imagine like how desperate some of these trolls are going to get when they're going to be like, hey, like, I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if you have to put on a top hat that has like a fucking camera on the inside. I don't care if you have to like sneak a camera into the goddamn courtroom, but you're going to do it. We need to see what happens. you know someone's going to be desperate enough to do that. Me, I would say, don't fucking risk it for a biscuit. Not this time, man. It's not fucking worth it. Although, Christian throwing a temper tantrum in court and correcting the judge and correcting them on misgendering them, I wouldn't mind if that had made it to video somewhere. As terrible of a guilty pleasure as it is for me to believe and admit to you all in good faith and standing, yeah, that's something that would be interesting because, like, you know, Christian has been recorded several different times, and sometimes by people that had absolutely no idea what Christian was all about. Like, remember when Christian maced that GameStop employee? The dude who recorded that wasn't even a troll. They had no idea what was going on, who Christian was. All they saw was some fucked up bullshit and decided to record that as evidence, I suppose, but more likely more for the thrill of capturing that. And just like, damn, it would be something like that. But yeah, other than that, I ain't got nothing. I could start talking about the dimensional merge because for you to understand how far gone Christian is, understanding the dimensional merge, where it came from, who was the actual progenitor of the dimensional merge, because that's also an important aspect of things. The thing is, Christian, he filled in the blanks, but the original idea for the original, like, what the dimensional merge was supposed to be, that came from an external source. You know, one of the trolls that came after such people as Clyde Cash or Liquid Chris, like, years after the fact. And it was by that point that I had largely stopped paying attention to Christian because, one, I grew up, two, Christian, ever since they became transgender and, like, you know, a tomboy, and then they decided to become, like, you know, they went from cross-dresser to tomgirl or tomboy, whatever they called it, and then they decided to become full-on transgender. And that was about the point, like, prior to that, after the house, like, came on fire and all that stuff, that I had pretty much stopped paying attention to Christian because their behavior and mannerisms got way too samey for me to stomach. Like, for instance, they would just make a series of e-begging videos, like begging for money. And granted, like, their house burning down, that's pretty fucked up. Like, obviously, you'd want to send them some, like, a care package if you were one of these trolls that had been trolling Christian for years. But if you're just an average Joe like me or you just be like, I don't know if I want to be involved with this. Like, you know, as a YouTuber, it's fine to, like, be on the outside looking in, but I wouldn't actually want to, like, go up to Christian and have a conversation. But I don't know. I'm not going to have that opportunity anymore, thank God. Because, I don't know, that I already told you guys. I saw Christian in real life. It was at MagFest years ago. And I had the opportunity to take a picture on my phone. But see, I didn't. I stopped myself. I'm like, one, you have to get within 5 feet distance, about this distance. And two, I don't really know if I want that on my phone, you know? On top of which, I'd have to talk to them, and I already saw their demeanor at, like, too many games where they're just randomly hugging people and kissing people. No thank you. Especially from somebody that thought, like, for years, probably still does, that Axe body spray was a good substitute to fucking showering and bathing. Anyway. I guess I'll monitor the situation, get back to you all if I hear anything else, but for right now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Till next time, guys, take care and peace. I hope you all have a better one. Hey fellas, thanks for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Would you care to hit that like button and subscribe for more? I greatly appreciate it.